Okay, so welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. Today we are presenting this webinar called The Next Chapter. So it's really to help you all to understand better what kind of secondary school should you choose, how should you choose, what are some considerations, and also how do you rank your choices. Right? So this session will not last longer and later than 9 p.m. because it's a bit late. So yes, today what are we covering? Okay, today we are covering quite a few things. Number one, what's happening now, right? And then what to look out for, how do you rank your choices, and also some mistakes to avoid, what's next after you rank your choices, and then to give you an insight of the exam dates in secondary one, and let you know some challenges and solutions possible, and also as parents, how can you help? Okay, parents' role in everything. Okay, so what now? Okay, so everybody is probably doing a lot of thinking, a lot of discussion with your student now, and you have all the way until Monday, 4:30 p.m. to submit your choices, correct? So I think more importantly is I want to congratulate everyone, be it the P6 students, be it the parents. Thanks, and also y'all have y'all should be proud of yourself, lah, okay? Y'all cleared this milestone and this very important milestone. Okay, it has been very tough, but all of you did it, right? Okay, so and now please really look forward to the second phase of your education journey. It's going to be very, very exciting. Okay, Sec 1 kids, you definitely can look forward to the secondary school life. It's going to be very, very different. All right. So, I think let me just kickstart off with letting you know what are some subjects that you'll be learning in Sec 1. This is for science, okay? This is just to give you an overview. Of course, Sec 1 students, you know that you're going to have more subjects, right? You're going to have like 7 subjects. Previously in primary school, you only have like 4 subjects. Now you're going to have 7, even 8 subjects. So this is just for science to give you an overview of the depth and what you are covering in Sec 1. So you can see over here for G3, you have a total of 8 subjects, okay? Scientific endeavor, physical properties, all the way until atoms and molecules. For IP, this is a general IP scheme of work. Definitely there are more topics inside. And then you have also have SST. SST is School of Science and Technology. So School of Science and Technology is also very rigorous. Quite similar to IP. In fact, I actually feel that SST is even more rigorous than IP. Okay, this is just to show you the intensity for the difference between G3, IP, and SST to give you an overview in case you are wondering, oh, should my kid go to IP? Should my kid go to G3? Anyway, I also purposely indicate some green color portions. So why do I indicate this green color portion is because I know many parents here are very excited, right? So you want your kids to, learn in advance, to maybe read some assessment book or like maybe like do some reading up first. So these are the topics I suggest your kids, you all can go and read up first. Okay, because these are subjects that you won't see much in primary school. Okay, and students often struggle trying to understand this because this is totally foreign to them. Okay, then next, this is for math, right? For math, same thing, overview of G3, IB, and IP. So over here, what's happening at the IP level for Sec 1, bolded, you see some bolded segment, right? The bolded segment over here basically means that these subjects, these concepts and topics are actually brought down from Sec 2. Yeah. So for G3 students, on the first column over there, you can see that there's around 9 topics. Then for IP, there's also 9 topics, but there will be many concepts that's brought down from Sec 2 level. Right? So that's in general in terms of academic rigor and also like how many concepts you're supposed to learn in 1 year, IP definitely stands out more. Yeah. Okay, so without further ado, now we have to go and talk about what to look out for, right? Because everybody right now you are actually thinking what secondary school to go. So what do I actually look out for? So maybe before we start, right? Teacher Joe, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes. So, Teacher Joe, I really want to know, right? Because I know last year you also had this phase whereby you need to decide where to put your daughter, right? So in general, was it a tough decision for you?
Yes, yes, it is. I mean, uh, yes and no. Yeah. Maybe a few of the things that okay. Yeah. So that's a good question. So parents, as some of you may know, I'm also a mother to two teenagers. So I've done the secondary school choices twice. Yeah. So these are very good factors to consider. For the location, right? Actually, I have a rule which is must be within 10 MRT stops. Yeah, I know 10 bus stops is some of the family's rules, but I think 10 bus stops these days the bus stops are built very close to each other. Okay. It's almost like every 300 meters is one. Yeah. So for me, I took the MRT stops. And also I try to make sure that the school is within the same color. That means like it's on the red. If it's red, then it's red, brown is brown, purple is purple, that sort of thing. I feel that it makes a lot of differences. So that's one. But however, for my boy, right, unfortunately, his school shifted, and then he end up changing. He has to change over three colors. So although the school's not very far away, but that changing takes up time. So location is definitely a key factor, parents, because in secondary school, especially set three, set four, the timetable is extremely long. Yeah. Electives is not really our concern because I feel that these days every school has their own strength, and almost every school has some form of like arts exposure, sports exposure. So I'm not particularly very concerned. CCA, yes. Because as you all might know, every school has their own budget. So some of the more specialized CCA, for example, like golf, if your child is very passionate about golf, there's only that one or two schools that offer. So that could be the one. For me, it will be a location, gender, because my girl came from a single gender school. She came from single gender. And research also shows that for girls, right, parents, you may want to know if your child was in a single gender school, when they go to the mixed gender, research has shown repeatedly, the word is repeatedly, they take a longer time to uh, get used to it. Okay, especially for the girls, right? So that's one. And then lastly, special needs support. Yes, for me, because both my girl is special needs. So I wanted to know whether there's special needs support. But these days, all the schools have already. All schools have special needs support. So that's also another, it became like another, what you call, common factor to all. Yeah. Okay.
For sharing. Oh, by the way, welcome, teacher Nick. Teacher Nick. Hi, you can introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, I'm teacher Nicholas. Okay, sorry, I was late because I was teaching a class. Ended at like 7:30. Yeah. Okay, hello. Nice to meet everyone tonight.
Yeah, anyway, since teacher Nicholas, you're late, so I have a question for you. So, what was
Yes.
your secondary school? And in terms of location, was it near you or yeah?
Okay, so I think when I'm gonna answer this question, okay, I saw a Q&A, okay, which I will inevitably answer also. So this person asked, which school would you recommend, Nanhua High, Bukit Panjang Government High, or Swiss Cottage? Okay, these were all my three choices, my first three choices when I picked my secondary school. Okay, I put Bukit Panjang Government High as the first, Swiss Cottage as the second. Okay, I got into Swiss Cottage, but then I appealed to go into Bukit Panjang Government High, and my brother is in Nanhua High. Okay, yeah. So basically, I picked Bukit Panjang Government High because I knew that we were going to move house. Okay, and then it was like one bus stop right away. It was like 10-15 minutes bus stop, right? Yeah, so actually, it was kind of like a no brainer for me. Okay, I definitely picked based on like how near it was for me lah. And I think it really helped me a lot because having that near location, I get to go home within like 20 minutes and I get to sleep in a bit more lah. Yeah. Okay, so just to also quickly answer, which school would you recommend? Of course, I'm biased, so I will tell you Bukit Panjang Government High. Yeah, please go for it. Yeah, that's yes, a very good secondary school.
For me, right, I was in Catholic High Secondary, so it's actually just right beside my house, 5 minutes, and that was the best decision I made. Yeah. So really just 5 minutes walk, very convenient. I personally don't like to travel a lot. So location was actually one of the big factor why how I chose my school. At the same time, I also went for open house. and the vibes in the school was really, really very welcoming. They are very, they're really, in general, they value a lot on like unity, togetherness, which really make me feel like it's a very comfortable place. I knew that it's gonna be an all boys school lah. So at that point in time, I don't really like the ideas of having mixed school because from primary school I was already in an all boys school. So I just wanted to continue that. Yeah. In terms of culture, I would say that also played a huge part why I chose that school lah. So if you all are actually curious about certain school culture, you can actually ask in the chat as well because we have been teaching for quite a while, right? We always have a lot of hearsay from students, so we roughly know how the culture is like in a certain school. Yeah. Okay. Then right. I also want to ask Teacher Nick, right? Do we, in general, do people choose school based on CCA?
So I think if you are looking for very specific CCAs, I think the short answer is yes. Yeah. For example, if let's say I'm interested in softball and I know that this school's culture of softball is like very strong, then I think that is a pull factor for us. Or if let's say you want to do badminton, but then that school doesn't have badminton. So I think depends lah. So generally speaking, if you are someone that is very into your CCA, I would say that you have tried to DSA right at the very start. Okay, and that might have already secured you a slot in that school. Yeah, but I would say unless you are a very very hardcore fan about your own CCA, okay, always be open to try because at the end of the day you can always have a new talent or new hobby lah. Okay, so I don't think CCA will be the main priority unless you are someone that's aiming to like go into like sports. Right, you want to go into like Olympics and this kind of things. Then maybe I think CCA might be one of the things that you want to consider.
Anyway, I saw a question on Victoria's school, right? So I have quite a few students from VS. One of them entered VS via badminton, DSA. Yeah. So at first he struggled a bit, but afterwards his results really improved a lot. And I asked what was one factor? How come how come his results can improve so much? Of course, he said tuition lah. Then at the same time, he also got to say that in general, the people there are quite serious about studying. So it also inevitably spurs him to be hardworking as well. Yeah, so I think he said that the school culture is very fun, but yet when it's time to be serious, they're also very serious. Yep, that's for VS. Okay, so I think we can answer more questions later. Let me move on to the next slide first. So now we are going to talk about how we rank choices, yeah? So I'm pretty sure everybody has already started listing out their choices. So we will just give certain advice on how you should rank your choice, okay? So to make everything simpler, we actually are going to give you an example. So this is a persona. We have Sarah, right? So Sarah, she got her score, AL8. She stays at MacPherson Residency. So in general, Sarah is a very hardworking student. So from early morning to late night study sessions at Starbucks, her dedication to excellence is impeccable. So AL8 is a decent score for Sarah. So she has listed out some of the secondary school choices that she have. So this is based on real life location. So when I put the traveling time, is all quite specific based on Google Maps. Yeah. In terms of either taking bus or MRT, right? It's not by car. This is traveling public transport, right? So you have many schools here, like for example, SIDA, TKGS, MGS, and stuff like that. So there are different traveling time. How can I maximize my chances of getting into my desired school, right? So there are two ways to do it. Okay, so this is number one. Ranking order A is the risky method, and ranking order B is the safety net method. Okay, so Sarah personally, right? She really like MGS a lot. She went to the open house. She feels like that's the place that she really want to go. But the really downside is that two downside. Number one, the cut-off point is at 6 and 7, but her AL score is AL8, and then her traveling time is really very long. Okay. Cut-off point is not final. Doesn't mean that they say the cut-off point is 7, then you're AL8, you cannot enter. But it's just that the risk is really high high risk. Okay. So for VJC, there's also a chance that she can get into VJC, but you need to understand that when you put VJC as second choice, right? So that really undermine your probability and percentage of entering that school. Okay, so actually for ranking order A, I would actually suggest Sarah to put VJC as the first choice. Yeah, and actually maybe can forgo MGS. Yeah. So safety net ranking order, you look at the right hand side, you will see that this student um is trying to play it safe. So SIDA is definitely within the cutoff range. And then at the same time, public transport, the traveling time is also factored in. Yeah. Okay. You also have to be very smart in this, in the sense that you need to know that really, if let's say SIDA you didn't get in, right? Okay, you need to put a second choice that you are really comfortable to get in. Okay, so my suggestion is, right, okay, if let's say you all list out 6 schools, okay, please go and write down like what is your top three choices, top three choices that you really 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 want to get into. Okay, so that what I mean is, doesn't matter if I enter the first choice, second choice, and third choice, you must be okay with it. That's the advice I would give. Some students will say, "Oh, I want to get into SIDA," but then you don't get into SIDA, then you become very sad. Okay, so in general, let's just be a bit more. Let's plan for the worst case scenario. So choose 3 schools that you are definitely comfortable to enter, and put that as your top 3 choices. Yeah. Then followed by the fourth, then the fifth, then the sixth. Yeah. Teacher Nick, you have anything to say about the risky order or the safety net order?
Okay, so just like what Teacher Joy has mentioned, I think a lot of parents are very concerned, right? Let's say the school that I want is 8 points, but then I only got 9, right? I'm like 1 point away. Do I take the risk, right, or do I not take the risk? Okay, so I would say, to be very honest, if your second choice, okay, it is like a it's like a confirm I can get in kind. Okay, then I would say maybe it is advisable to take that risk. Okay, but of course, please don't quote me lah. Okay, so I think if you really, really, really want to go into that school, it's near you, it's convenient. Okay, and like you really, really want to just try. Okay, I think really there's no harm trying. Okay, but you must also know that because of the order that you have, right, it might eventually affect your second and third option. Yeah, so I think it's really like a
Yeah,
risk. Mm.
it's a very good point. Yeah, I just want to add on our parents. You are very lucky because your kids are in snake year of snake. Last year, because of year of dragon, the COP was pushed uh down lah. Okay, up or down depending on how you see. Yeah, but as in it became harder to get into certain schools. We all know that. So I think for the year of snake children, you can really, really look at the COP, like really can use it as a guide very comfortably. Last year there was a lot of big hoo-ha because some went like +2, -2, that kind. But this year, I think you are in good places. The other thing that you should also look at is the past 3-year trend. So, like for example, VS, a lot of parents ask us about VS. By the way, parents, for y'all to know, a lot of people ask about VS. So VS, I think these few years have become quite popular. VS O level has stayed quite stable at AL9 for the past few years. Okay. So parents, you need to know this. Okay. So you look at the past 3 years. The other thing you need to know is, how did the cohort do this year? How did the cohort do this year, parents? Okay, so for Blue3 kids, right? My general feel is this year, the kids all did super well. They did very, very well. In fact, they did, I feel, even better than the Dragons. I hear a lot of AL1. So parents, you need to know that. Okay. So, but all in all, however, MOE will say that every year it remains stable, but I don't quite believe in that lah, because anecdotally, right, I can see that there are some schools the count keep going up. Yeah, so I think this year, you can take it as safe as that. Yeah, and like teacher Nicholas say, for choice 1, take a risk. Yeah, make sure your choice 3, right? I think even choice number 2, I will take a risk, but choice 3, I'll make sure it's very, very safe. Very, very safe. Okay. Very, very safe. Our parents means that like it's a +3, +4. That means if let's say the cutoff is 16, your child got 12. That's very, very safe. all right? You need to have those very, very safe options, because every year we do hear that 2 or 3 that all 6 they didn't get it at all. We do get it. And it's very traumatizing for the kids. Okay.
Okay, hi parents. So at the bottom over here, right, I wrote, what if my child is in G2? So I'm pretty sure some of your children here, their AL score is around 22 or 23, 24. So they are applicable to enter posting group 2, right? So under posting group 2, you can also have many choices. Actually, you realize that the range of AL score for the posting group 2 is actually quite small. And the good news is this. The good news is even good schools will be accepting G2 students, right? So there was one parent who asked me recently, say, oh, can my son, should I try to enter Xingming under G2, and then afterwards we try to promote to G3? The short answer is yes, you can do that, but you all need to understand that it's definitely not a sure way for you to enter G3 lah, because entering from G2 to G3, yes, even though promotions is possible, but also depends on whether the child has the potential, whether the child can adjust properly in G2, and then performing well enough to enter G3. So yes, that's a route, but you need to consider if your child has the potential to promote. Okay. Okay, so this is a example of the promotion. So even if your child were to enter G2, there is definitely different opportunities throughout different stage of the year, whereby if they perform good enough, they can actually be promoted from G2 to G3. But then the promotion will not happen once the kid is in Sec 3 lah. You can drop from G3 to G2, but you cannot go from G2 to G3 anymore at the upper secondary level. All right, next. So mistakes to avoid. In general, try not to choose school purely because a friend is going. Most of the time, you will regret it. Okay. And also, I don't think it's a good idea to over focus on brand name. It's very important to look at all the factors like location, like what Teacher Joe mentioned just now, location, culture, and maybe also CCA. Yeah. Sometimes going to the best school doesn't mean that it's really good for the child as well. Next, you also have to consider the CCA load, okay, when you are selecting CCAs in the school, because some CCA are really, really high commitment. There are some school, the sports, for example, badminton is 3 times a week. Some schools, the badminton sports is 2 times a week. So maybe that can be one of your consideration as well. Yeah. So these are just some mistakes to avoid. Yeah. Okay, so what's next? Personally, right, I think from now until the time you all submit the 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 submission results, please do go down to check out the schools, and also try to find out more about the school culture. And parents, if it will be good if, let's say, you discuss with the kids, because maybe the kids have an idea of what they want also. Yeah. Uh, Personally for me, at that point in time when my mom asked me if I wanted to go to Hwa Chong or go to Catholic high school, I definitely said that my personal opinion is I don't want to travel. Yeah. So sometimes maybe your child has a voice also that maybe you can consider as well. Yeah. Okay. Teacher Joe, I actually have to go one question for you. So how do you think as a parent, right, in secondary school, when they choose a secondary school, how do you come to a decision with your daughter? Is it more of like, is led by you, or is it led by your daughter?
You look at her, she's like, okay, parents, okay, this question, to be fair, it really depends on your parenting and your family values. All right. And okay, my girl is quite strong-willed, so I tried to influence her, uh, because I really wanted her to go to Tanjong Katong. But in the end, her will won now, right? So she's in SOTA now. All right. So I would say that I know it's only 1 week, it's very short, okay? You need to have a lot of conversation, parents, and in different situation. So you cannot just have one conversation over the dinner table and think that, okay, let's just do it. I think that you need to have a lot of conversation over different situation, like before you sleep, when they wake up, in the car, just have different conversation to just be very sure that that's the choice that um both of you can come to an agreement. I think that the agreement, it matters a lot. Yeah. So if you really can't get into an agreement, all right, parents, I would say go with your child. After all, it's their life. It's really their life. All right. So that 4 years for many, many children is a pivot point. So it's just like us, as you can recall, my secondary school friends are still my friends. They are, the secondary school life is very important. So yeah, so go to your child, yeah. Go with your child, yeah.
Okay, thanks for sharing. Okay, so also just to do a quick update, parents, I think you all should know, moving on, because schools are going under the full SBB scheme, right? The full subject-based banding scheme. Basically, what it means is that, in a class, right, there will be a mix of, G2 students, G3 students, and basically G1 students. So as you can see over here, it's a mixed form class under the full SBB. So it's not like in the past, wow, I'm an express class, wow, I'm a normal acad class, wow, I'm a normal technical class. No. So now everybody of different academic potential, they will all be mixed into one mixed class. Yeah. So this is also something for your consideration as well. Okay. So moving forward, next, teacher Nick, maybe you can share this portion.
I'm here to really tell you what's going to happen in less than 2 months' time. Okay, I just actually was sharing with the P6 kids, okay, who was in my class, that I think you all have about 3 months left, you know. Then afterwards I went to count, no leh. Actually you all only have about 1 month left because I think your school starts. Okay, I forgot that it's already 27th of November already. And so I actually told them that not to stress you all, but also to know that this year your WA1, okay, likely will be somewhere between 9 February to 27 February, okay, depending on whether the school wants to have it before or like after CNY. Okay. So actually if you think about it, to really, really push yourself and learn another 3 more topics in the next 1 month, okay, is going to be quite scary. Okay, and we're also giving you the dates just to let you all know in case you also have a Sec 2 child, okay, that the WA1 is coming, okay, and it's also quite important because it's going to involve streaming, okay, streaming as in they're going to pick the subject combinations lah. So just a reference here, okay, for you guys to have it. Different schools might have it differently. So some schools tend to like to have it a bit earlier. Okay, some schools may not have WA1. Okay, some schools will also have WA1 as a project. So it really depends on which school your child is going to. Okay, but just some reference dates for you guys to know. Okay, Sec 2, why are we flagging this out, right? It's because you need to understand the importance that eventually when they pick their subject combination, right, the results that they have is not just for the end of years, it's actually throughout the entire year. So you cannot fail your 3 exams and get an A1 because your overall might be like a B3 or B4. Okay, you need to be very, very, very consistent throughout this entire thing now. Okay?
Yeah,
Can-
and so basically, not to burst all your bubbles, I'm pretty sure many parents here, you'll be thinking, oh, I want to see how my child fare in Sec 1 because it's a new start. I want them to get used to this new environment, the fact that there's more subjects. But the truth is this, WA1 still constitutes to 15% of the overall score for the year. Yeah. So I do like what teacher Nick mentioned, we do see many cases whereby the students, right, couldn't really adjust. WA1 fail, WA2 fail. Wow, then WA3 suddenly become better. EOY also suddenly become better. But because WA1 and WA2 constitute 30%, that already put down their overall score. Yeah. In Sec 1, still not an issue, but in Sec 2, that one is quite crucial because it's a streaming, is the subject allocation exercise. So you will face issues whereby, oh, if you don't get 60% for your overall Sec 2 subject result, then you won't be able to take pure science. Oh, you won't be able to take A math and stuff like that. Okay? Yeah.
Yeah, just also add in, there's some questions about whether the dates here are the same for IP and IB as well. For IP, you may not want to really follow these dates because IP usually they have their own time. So usually IP schools will not have a WA1. Their first WA will be right after you come back from your March holidays. So do expect for the IP schools to be a bit pushback because they have much more content to do and they don't really want to have a WA1 that early. For IB, okay, I think you're talking about schools like SOTA, Hwa Chong International. WA1, 2, 3, yes. Okay, roughly around the same dates, but their end of years usually are a lot later. So for myself, I have this girl who is in Hwa Chong International. Her end of year for math was on 4th November. Yeah, 4th or 5th November. So it's like a good 1 month after the other G3 kids have done it. Yeah, so these days are more relative for your G3 and G2 students. Okay, but your IP and IB might differ based on which school they are in. Hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
parents,
Okay, so
just to see the number of questions coming in, a lot of them are asking about the schools and the culture and everything. Okay,
Mm.
so my view is, remember, go and see the 3-year trend, okay, parents. Okay, number two is it is actually very, very hard, parents, to be honest, to know whether the school will work for your child. Because at the end, right, it's all hearsay and everyone is different. Okay. So even if you hear very good things, you might be surprised when your child enter, your child may not be able to cope or assimilate. So at the end, I feel that it's actually more important to teach our children, no matter what school they are in, be open to making new friends. All right. And really be open to new adventures. If your child is very close up and very introvert, and no matter where, your child also won't be happy, to be honest. All right. I think all the secondary school now are very decent. The schools are trying their best to have very healthy, holistic culture. All right. So actually a lot of schools to schools, like for example, St. Margaret's and Crescent Girls, I will tell you not much difference. Really not much difference. Okay. The other thing is, if really is a very big concern, all right, okay, what I did was I went to the bus stop. I sat at the bus stop very close to the school with my kids to observe the children. Okay. Now maybe you say that where got bus stop now? Did you join the students all holiday already? Right? Yeah, you are right. But you will still catch that one or two somehow. Okay. As this week still have one or two. But I just sat at the bus stop just to see. Okay. Yeah. Right. So don't be too overly concerned, parents. At the end of the day, it's like life, we have to adapt to life. We can't get life to adapt to us. Yeah. So I think that the few crucial points really is location. Location, I think that one's very, very important. The CCAs offered, right? And finally, the academic rigor. The academic rigor, is that something that uh speaks to you and your child? All right. Okay. We can carry on.
Next, right? Just to highlight some challenges that definitely is going to happen in Sec 1. So, like, as everyone know, academic shift, right? More subjects, deeper content, more application-based questions, and also more lab work and more project, like what teacher Nicholas mentioned just now. There will be some WA whereby it won't even be like sit down, do exam paper. It's really project work. Then, in terms of personal responsibility, they really need to start having like a better time management because more subjects, more things to revise, more homework as well. So homework tracking definitely is something that they need to work on as well. Independent revision. So they need to be disciplined enough, right, to revise before WAs and stuff like that, right? Next, emotional and identity development. So this Sec 1 period, they will start to realize that maybe they have a more of their own voice, right? Have their own personal preference, their own hobbies. They start forming their own values. They want more independence, definitely. And then, sometimes they will be like, the parents will be like, "Hey, you see, why last time you like that, then now you like that." Okay, but it's normal. It's all part of puberty, lah. And also you need to be aware that as they move into secondary school, they are gonna be more self-aware. Also because part of peer pressure and stuff like that. So social environment is something you need to take note of as well. More social life, okay, new friends, heavier CCA commitments, definitely. Sometimes I hear of students ending their CCA at around 7:30, 8 p.m. also have. Um Greater effect of peer pressure. This one I really want to mention a bit. So because we are teachers who has teach for quite a while, we really notice that students nowadays they succumb to peer pressure quite easily. Yeah, and also like peer influence. So it can be a good thing and bad thing. Peer pressure to study harder, peer pressure to maybe uh the opposite lah, basically. Some students will also tend to want to always seek social approval. Yeah, which is not a very good thing lah. And then social media influence is definitely stronger. Yeah. Okay, so with all these things happening, right, parents, I think you it won't be like in primary school anymore, whereby you can really handhold your kid even for the exams. Okay, so you have to switch from handholding more to a guiding role. I think it's important, parents, you have to learn to be emotional anchor. When I was in secondary school, because of how my parents act, I didn't want to confide anything in my parents. So everything I try to settle myself. I try to confide in my friends and stuff like that. Okay, so it would be really good if let's say you can be their emotional anchor, yeah, and also support healthy routines, having a good timetable, and also encourage them to be disciplined, yeah, encourage them to be independent and accountable for their own actions, yeah, and also last thing, if let's say parents you do not trust that your kid will be independent on their own, you can also consider partnering with educators lah. Okay. Okay. So without further ado,
Yeah,
we really can.
you should make
Yeah.
sorry. So I just want to share something here on the like on this topic of like the parents' role. So today I was as in I had a consult with one of my Hwa Chong kids, and then he definitely he's in Sec 1 this year, okay, going Sec 2 next year, okay, and then we were having fun just like doing math, right, and then his mom suddenly came, okay, so the intention of the mom coming is actually to ask the child, do you want me to pick you up to send you to the next place because he has another tuition afterwards, and then the moment his mom entered the door, right, you can see that his face just changed. He went from like hey having fun, and then he became a bit like very I would say irritated. He just looked at his mom and said like, "What? Hey, why are you here?" That kind of thing. Yeah, I don't think he hates his mom, obviously. Yeah, but I think it's just very funny because now in secondary school they treat their teachers, they treat their friends as really like or someone that's close to them. Okay, and when they eventually become Sec 1, Sec 2, okay, they start to become a bit more distant, okay, from the parents, and like no matter what you're saying, it will always become like something that's a bit like very annoying, very naggy lah. So I think it's something that you guys have to eventually learn, right? And it will take some time, okay, but you guys need to understand that your role definitely will be changing as they go up to secondary school lah. Not you, Shamin, you can continue.
Okay. Yep. So now is Q&A session. So please keep the questions coming. So what we will do is we will be looking through all the questions that you posted for us and we will try to respond to them. Yeah. Okay. So maybe let me start off with one question that I saw just now. Um wait, Okay, there's one parent who asked me about Guangyang. Okay, so I think Guangyang, I hear good and bad things about Guangyang lah, but I would say in general, for the Guangyang students, right, the exams are, I would say for Sec 1, Sec 2, the exams are surprisingly easier. That's the conclusion I got from looking at the paper. Um Compared to other schools. Okay, in terms of the school culture, I hear good things and bad things, so I would say I think it's still decent.
Okay, maybe let me answer a question. I have this person asking STC, if I'm not wrong, there's St. Teresa's Convent, GES Gannon Sec, and then QW, I think is Queensway. Okay, if I'm not
Yes.
wrong, yeah, Queensway, right? Yeah. So just nice, I have students from all of these schools. Okay, I would say that for Queensway, generally speaking, the students are quite hardworking. Queensway have very specific promotion criteria. For example, for you to take A Math when you're in Sec 3, you need 60% overall. Okay, that's for Queensway lah. Okay, Queensway wise, the academics is not super duper difficult. I would say it's at an average level. I would say overall positive vibes from Queensway. Most of my Queensway students, they are quite nice lah. Okay, for Gangnam side, I think the kids there are quite. I mean, there are extreme ends, of course. But those that I know, they are generally quite hardworking. They are quite smart. They are quite, I would say, really, really putting the effort to go and study. Okay, for STC wise, I think is uh also decent vibes. Okay, I think because it's a girls' school, and I think this is a theme that I also want to address, right? Where usually in girls' schools, uh, maybe for the lack of a better, nicer word to say, okay, I would say there's tend to be a bit more drama, okay, in the schools. Okay, and I think it may or may not be a good thing, okay, but it really, really showcases like the different parts of the school where there's a group of girls who are really, really hardworking and they just want to do well. And of course, there's another group of girls who are a bit more involved in the school's drama. So be careful when you are deciding to go into a female school. Of course, it happens in boys' school as well, lah. Okay, yeah, so I think all of those choices are great. All of my kids from those three schools, they are very nice, very hardworking, and overall quite decent vibes from those three schools lah. Mm.
Okay, I saw one about TJC. So I have one student from TJC. Um, Exams super difficult. They they say that um they they're always drowning in work. Yeah. So maybe because they also have a lot of leadership commitments and stuff like that. Their school always have a lot of events packed for them. Yeah. So they tend to struggle a bit trying to juggle academics and non-academic activities. Yeah. Okay, then also I saw one question on review on PLMGS. PLMGS for science, teacher Nick, I would say for science, the exams are very difficult. Yeah, but I don't know about math lah. Yeah.
Math is okay. Math is average. Math is
Yeah.
yeah.
Zhonghua is more neighborhood holistic. If
Yeah.
you're looking for a comfortable learning pace, Zhonghua is the one. PLMGS, yeah, I also personally feel that there's some academic rigor lah. Yeah. For SJI, in general, the boys are very outspoken. They are also very Western culture driven. So usually the children who don't like Chinese, they'll all go there. Yeah.
Yeah.
NJC,
Exam.
this one I
Yeah.
don't know. This one that he
I know.
will
I
know.
know. NJC. I have a lot of students from NJ. I have a class of IP students full of NJ girls. Yeah. Are the exams difficult? I would say for the math side, extremely, extremely, extremely difficult. On par, maybe with RI, Hwa Chong, maybe even tougher. Okay, because they learn things very, very in depth and in a very weird order. Yeah. So if your child likes math, I think NJC is a good school. Okay, but if your child doesn't like math, yeah, I think pick another school lah.
I think to be fair,
Mm.
parents, if your child is preparing to go to IP, IB, the rigor is there, lah, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the rigor is there.
Yes.
Yeah, you
Mm.
have to expect that because they are supposed to learn at a faster pace in
Mm.
anyway. All right. So you need to my son is in IP. Resources are very hard to find. It's very hard to find resources. Okay, so your child must have some independent yeah, I would say ACS IB is the same. Yeah, my girl
For ACS,
okay, teacher Shaming, yes.
yeah, for ACS IB, like what teacher Joe mentioned, resource is almost really cannot find. I can tell you, for example, for ACS IB, right, in year one, they have life science and physical science. So they don't really touch chemistry at all. No, they don't really touch much chemistry at all in year one. So they focus more on life science and physical science, which is why it's even very hard to find tuition for them. So unless there is a tuition that is really catered for ACS IB students, if not, really, really very hard to find support for them. And then plus the things they learn, right? Like, for example, the life science, they learn Sec 3 bio topics. Yeah. So like what teacher Joe mentioned, as long as they are looking at IP and IB, just be prepared that number one, they need to really work hard, and um resources are hard to find. So this is something that you all really have to consider. Yeah.
Okay, maybe I say
And
one more thing about IB parents. For IP, right, I find that the the exams, right, are looking for very specific answers because of A levels. So the answers are still quite, I would say, close up. In my opinion, a bit robotic. But for IB, the students, right, they're allowed to have some flexibility in their answers. It's more open. So just now there was a parent who asked me which one is better. Okay, so it really depends on your child. My son can do the IP because his memory is very good. So he can just, regurgitate, in other words, regurgitation. My daughter is in IB, all right. Her memory is not as good, but she's very creative. So her answers, right, it allows her some flexibility and openness. So she enjoys that. So you really need to consider, okay? RI vs ACS, right? Actually, honestly, parents, the culture is there. Yeah. What are you looking out for? What are your family values? For some families, right? Okay, let's be very open. Uh, the social groups that the children are exposed to are also very important. So you really need to consider, all right, what matters to you. What matters to you, okay, parents? Yeah. All right. Okay.
okay,
Hey,
there's one question I see. For
yeah.
G2, first
Yes,
choice, Kuo
G2.
better or Crescent Girls better? I mean, if you ask for my personal opinion, I would say I would think Crescent Girls is better in the G2 level. Yeah.
Mm,
Reason because this is from what I
mm.
know of Kuo. Kuo G2 students are not as hardworking as I know. Yeah. Maybe because of the school culture. This one I'm not sure. Uh, so from hearsay, I would feel Crescent Girls is better if let's say you're talking about G2 level.
Yeah, so I think I also wanted to address a big theme. I think a lot of parents are very concerned, right? Like, do I pick a lower end G3 school versus a higher end G2 school and then try to promote to G3? So you must know the number of chances that you have to actually promote to G3 when you're in G2 is actually only you have three times, right? After the second WA in the first year, okay, which is the easiest, okay, you have one time at the first year end of year and you have one last chance, okay, at the second year end of year. Okay, recently I have heard new stuff. Okay, there is a particular school. Okay, I forgot which school is it, but the kid is going to take G2 A Math at Sec 3. But then the school told them if you do well for the first WA, you might have a chance to promote to G3 A Math. So that is new information to us as well because in the prior batches, MOE was very strict about saying there's no promotion from Sec 3 onwards. But I think the whole point here is for you to understand that while well, it's very easy to say, oh, let's just promote by WA2 and the end of year. Uh, I think it's also we need to manage expectations. Not a lot of students get to promote to G3 after the first two WAs. So you need to understand what is your child's ability. For example, putting them in Bukit Panjang Government High School, which is a good school, and if the exams are difficult, maybe your child put in the effort but couldn't hit the 75% mark, then you fail to promote to G3. And then all of a sudden, all of your plans are just gone, right? So I think also need to understand what is the risk of going into a better end school with a more difficult exam, and then trying to get to G3 or just entering G3 from the very start. Yeah. For those of you who are entering G3, okay, just because you're in G3 doesn't mean that you will not fall back to G2. So there's also a possibility of that. Okay, for IP and G3, if you are scoring at the very sensitive range of 7, 8, 9, I think that's where you are always thinking, hey, should I go IP or should I go G3? Okay, honestly speaking, there are some students who are way more comfortable not taking their O levels. They're way more comfortable taking their 6 years to reach A levels, okay, doing projects, learning more in depth. Okay, but there are also some students who say, hey, I'm very confident of my own abilities. I know I can do well for O levels, and therefore I am okay to take the G3 route. So I think back to the same question, really need to understand how your child is like. Okay, because some children want to go to IP because of the whole idea of I get to skip O levels. But If that is the mentality, then I would say that is a very dangerous mentality because at the end of the day, you still have to take A levels after 6 years. Mm.
Okay. So to answer your question, got one question say AL 20 and 21 better to choose G3 or G2. So I want to give one example that I have a real life example. So I have one student who got AL 21 last 2 years ago. Last year. And then he entered Presbyterian High School under G2. Okay, but now he has promoted 5 of his subjects to G3 because he's performing well in G2. But that being said, he's hardworking. Yeah. You must also know that when you are moving from G2 to G3, right? Sometimes for certain subject there'll be some bridging that you need to do, because at G2 levels there are certain subjects you will learn less stuff. So when you promote to G3, right? Yeah, that's what I mentioned. You need some bridging.
There's a question on the affiliation side. Mummy maybe can clarify. I don't think the G1 COP is 20. I don't think so. You need to check the KCPS. I think, yeah, you're referring to their G3. Yeah, you just take a look. Yeah. The other thing, parents are, I did write a part about G2 and G3, okay? You must choose G3 no matter what, because the other thing about G2 is the pathway is also narrower. JC is very, very hard. It's almost impossible. All right. Okay. So if you say that they can only go to they can only go to G2, that means they scored 22, 23, 24. Right. That means, daddy, that means the question, that means AL 22, 23, 24. They can go to G3 if they do very well in set 1, set 2, according to the secondary school criteria. They can, but it's very, very hard. Yeah. So far, what we see is, even though they're very hardworking and still very hard. Okay. So, and some of the schools, right, for math, A math, they don't allow them to take A math at all. It's very, very, very hard. Yeah. So as much as possible, push them to G3. All right. Okay. Poly courses as well. Some they cannot enter. All right. Some they cannot enter. So for G2, it's really like in the past, as we know, the normal stream, their choices get capped. As parents, right, we want to give the widest pathway for our kids. So give them the widest pathway as much as possible. Yes, AR21 can opt for G3. Yes, mommy, AR21 is the lucky one. Opt for G3. Don't look at the school for their brand names. Just go for G3. Just go G3. Take O level. Okay. 9M to go to Saint Nick's and Cedar. Mommy, you look at the cutoff. I think, if I recall very hard, I think balloting. But if you want to take a chance, like say for choice number 1, yeah, take a risk. Take a risk, but make sure choice number 3 must be very, very, very safe, okay? No, cannot. 22 cannot. It's 20 and 21. Yeah. Okay. Are you talking about Cochrane Presbyterian? If you're looking at affiliation, all right, then the affiliation cutoff is 20. But if it's 21, okay, mommy, that means Cochrane Presbyterian, you cannot go back anymore. You cannot go back anymore as affiliation, but you can choose another secondary school with a cutoff point of 21. Okay. Yeah. Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, 20 cannot choose G2 or G3. Okay, let me check. Did I remember wrongly? Okay, never mind. We will. Let me see the G2, G3. Okay, any more questions coming in?
Says, if I score AL12, will it be wiser to put CHIJ Katong Convent or TKGS? I think both are actually okay. But based on what I know, I heard better things about Tanjong Katong Girls' School. And I based on what I know, the exams are also quite difficult, but the school culture is somehow such that the students are all quite studious. Yeah. So in general, like I never hear much bad things about the school. Only the exams a
Yeah.
bit difficult.
Yes, I agree. For Tanjung Katong Girls' School, I think the girls are all very hardworking. I have
Mm.
one in my sorry, I have two in my class. One of them joined me last year. Well, the results just went out like went up in a matter of a year, just like 1 year. Yeah, now she's topping her cohort for Chem. She's also doing very, very well for A Math. So generally quite studious. I think that Tanjung Katong, even the boys side, generally speaking, all the students are quite well behaved and quite hardworking as well. Mm. What are the good things in Swiss Cottage? Wow, I've never been to Swiss Cottage. I was enrolled for 1 day, and then I went to Bukit Panjang.
I think
But I
Swiss
think
Cottage is well known, right, in the West.
yeah, it used to not be so good, right? But actually over the years
Mhm.
it started climbing up. It was closing behind Nanhua, was closing behind Bukit Panjang. So actually it's also quite a decent school if you are in the west side. Mm.
Mm. The question that you asked about G2 easier for promotion, all the schools you choose are actually very good neighborhood schools. So I think their criteria will be similar. I think hard. Yeah. Because you have to know for the how should I put it? For the schools, right? They also have limited space in G3. Okay. Okay. Parents, are you all right? Any more questions that we can help you all? AL21 like the last spots. So, mommy, choose a school that the cutoff is AL21 and not so popular. Okay, so for example, I don't know where you stay, but like for example, like Serangoon Garden Secondary, yeah, that kind of school. Is it worth okay for third language, right? Okay, parents, I would say just let your child go first, try first. Just try. You can always drop. So my son did third language, okay, and then after sometime he decided it's too tiring. You can just drop. Yeah, there's no backlash one. Don't worry, there's no backlash. Okay, cannot
Okay,
be. Yeah,
we have
yeah.
some questions. Okay, I have this question. Can teacher Faith teach set one? I'm not sure if Teacher Faith is watching this. Okay, but to answer you, we have a very dedicated team, okay, of math and science teachers, okay, headed by myself and Teacher Shen Ming. Okay, so you can trust us, okay, that we will definitely be able to help your child. Okay, of course, if you're scared, okay, you can come for a trial, okay, a free trial, okay, definitely, and then we will convince you, lah, okay, that we are definitely as good as Teacher Faith. Okay, if not better. Okay, sorry, this one a bit. Okay. Another question, what about BPGHS? I love the school culture lah. It was great. I'm still with my friends now, after about how many years is this? Like 14, 15 years. Yeah, we just attended each other's wedding in the last month. I was his best man also. So yeah, I think the school culture is great. Yeah, and quite studious. Generally speaking, I think the environment is quite positive. Not particularly skewed towards like Chinese or English, but I think it's a very good mix of both lah. But they are also quite strong in the languages for PPGHS. Okay, good. There's one person that said key considerations for my AL6 girl is like math and English. If you like math and you like a challenge, I think NGC is a good school. For English wise, I'm not so sure, but if she likes English, then maybe go to. Okay, definitely won't be considering Nanyang lah. Nanyang. I mean, I think they're a bit more Chinese based. Mm.
One question about Saint Which Saint are you referring to? Because there's quite a lot of Saint school. Um, if you are referring to Saint STC, right? Quite a lot of drama, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, this one I can tell you, really a lot of drama. And yeah, the girls' drama. You can imagine what is it about lah. Nanqiao is very studious. Nanqiao is very studious. It's good. Also for Nanhua is very interesting because for science, right? Okay, yes, the students are very studious. It's more Chinese speaking school. Very studious, but the Sec 1, Sec 2 science, they they made it. I feel it's too easy. Then when they go to Sec 3, they tend to struggle to catch up with the science curriculum. Haixing, I'm not sure lah. Haixing, I don't have much info on Haixing Catholic.
Oh, I
Oh, I
have
have, I have. I have a friend
yeah,
teaching there.
Hai Sing Catholic. Yeah.
But the discipline not great, parents. Yeah, but I think generally okay lah. Quite the teachers there do care. We have what? We have a student from Hai Sing Catholic.
Venice.
Yeah.
Yeah, Venice is from Hai Sing. Yeah. Okay, there's one about SCGS IP. So just let you know, SCGS IP follow the or at least for their school, they follow the mainstream syllabus quite closely. Not particularly too difficult, but I would say generally for SCGS as a whole school, even their mainstream math and science is definitely harder than the average level. And for SCGS, they run even for their G3 stream, right? They run it a bit differently from other G3 streams. They run it quite close to like how an IP school will run. So
Yes.
the way that they reorder their topics, even though it's not like entire 180 degrees flip from the normal G3 schools, but they tend to go against what the G3 schools, especially when they are in Sec 3 and above. Sec 1, Sec 2 is still okay. Maybe only one or two topics is not the same. Yeah, but for SCGS IP, must take note, you are affiliated to EJC, yeah, which is at Bishan, I think. Is it at Bishan? I think
Yes.
Bishan. Yeah,
Yes.
Bishan. What is Chelsea?
Cedar Forte also very sporty, oh. Yeah, it's very sporty ongoing. For some of the parents, right, maybe that could be an important factor. For SIDA, there's more mixed races, I would say. Some of the schools, because of SAP, you may only find a single race. Like there's a lot of Chinese. And so it again is your own values, all right? Okay. For SIDA, they definitely have more different races. Yeah. But their sporty environment, they're very much like VS, just the female counterpart. I feel the VS and the Cedarians, right? Uh, Sporty, outgoing, very independent, sisterhood, very strong sisterhood. Yeah. Mm. Fuhua Commonwealth, Clementi Town. I don't know about Fuhua Commonwealth, but Clementi Town, I know they are getting stronger. Their COP is dropping, very popular. Um, Very strong STEM culture, STEM. Yeah.
For CHIJ Toa Payoh, very fun school culture. The students who are in CHIJ Toa Payoh, I can see they're always smiling lah. They having a lot of fun one. But my student is hardworking, so she's faring quite well in the school. So apart from that, I have not much information, but I can tell
Yeah,
they have fun in
I have
school.
a lot. I have this batch just graduated. I have like I think like eight of them in my classes. Yeah, very bonded batch. A lot of school activities. They're all involved in like how school councils, house, CCAs. But I think the school culture wise is very good because they are all very hardworking. They will help each other. They will push each other. So I think generally speaking, I think from my own experiences, IJ is definitely a school that I would love to teach the students there lah. Fuhua, I know I had one student there. I would say neighborhood level. But my kid particularly was quite hardworking and strong. She followed me for like 3 years, and then now she's in Nanyang JC. Yeah, she's in Nanyang JC. She got raw 9 minus 4, so she got a net 5 after. Yeah, so this was last year also.
Pei Hwa is a very underrated school, but I personally think Pei Hwa is very good. The school culture a bit more Chinese, then
Mm,
a lot of student-led activities as well. I
mm.
always see there are some Instagram from my students, they're like performing for various events and stuff like that. Then also got um a lot, yeah, basically a lot of opportunities for them to step up and do things that is not academic. Yeah.
Yeah. VS or CC, they are very different culture, mommy, very, very different. One very except school Chinese driven, VS is sporty. Again, please consider for your child. If you're choosing just because of the academic excellence, well, we can understand. What we're trying to tell you is please consider your child. All right. There are many, many other factors. If your child, right, okay, so simply in a Singaporean term, if your child can do it, can study, right, anywhere also can one. The school will not bring out that academic excellence in your child, parents. That's the truth. Okay. If your child can do it, your child will do it. Yeah. But if you're looking for like academic achievement, competition, yes, certain schools are like a fan, their HOD will go and find, yes, I agree, like RI lah, HCI lah, ACSI, they will go and find out the science competition, math competition. Certain schools like VS, they are very fond of finding your sports competition. So you need to really consider your child. And there are certain schools that like humanities. They'll go and find literature, geography, history, competition, and opportunity. Right? You need to really know it. Okay. If you ask me, there will be one more thing that I'll do these 2 days. I'll go to the website. I will really list down. And if you want to be extra kiasu, call the school. Yeah, you can call the school and ask the school some question. The office is open, or go down and visit the school. Yeah. But really at the end, right, parents, consider your child's learning personality. And also maybe take note, parents, your child will change. They will definitely change. And they will change so much that you, in your wildest dream, you will not have expected. For example, your child may not have been sporty, suddenly become very sporty. Yeah, that was what happened to my daughter. She was in art so much. Suddenly, year one, she got to take out football. She became very sporty. Yeah, so they can change, okay, parents, all right? What's important is, in general, I feel that you feel that the school can support your child's teenager years. That will be good enough. Yeah.
And maybe I can, we the three of us, maybe you can address one question the parent have. They say can comment in general, is mixed school better or single sex school better? I think this is something that, if let's say you have a daughter, this is confirm a question that you will usually think about. Yeah. If you have a son, you probably don't care whether the son go mixed school or single sex school. But if you're a daughter, you definitely have. So I think is maybe you can share some insights. Okay, maybe Nick, you can start first.
Okay, I don't have a daughter, so this is all by speculation. Okay, I will personally think that because in my whole life I've been in like co-ed schools, right? So I think I would put my daughter in a co-ed school because I think being in a single gender school will only last you that long. You will never not go into like your uni or JC where it's just all females. Yeah, so I think they also need to learn how to interact with the opposite gender. Right? Of course, there will definitely be some risk of like certain things that we don't want to happen. Yeah, but I think learning at a young age to know how to handle uh the opposite gender. Yeah, even though they always say, oh, the boy is very immature, they're very disgusting, and they always say, yeah. But I think it's quite important for them to learn, right? How to manage that side of their life also lah. Mm.
So personally for me, right, I'm opposite from Nick. Because teacher Nick, he's in a co-ed school for 10 years, right? Primary and secondary, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. But for me, right, I'm in a single sex all boys school from primary school to secondary school. So one thing I can say for sure is I personally feel if you are in a single sex school for too long, your social skills will grow at only at a later stage. I see a lot of single sex school students, I would say one word to describe them, immature. Sometimes that's how I would describe them. But it's true because we don't have the opportunity to interact with opposite gender. But I would say my 10 years was just fun and fun. Because in a single sex school, I think we wouldn't really go and care about like, you won't have like relationship issues. You won't be too much fixated on like personal image. Everybody is just like, it's just more about having fun. I noticed that there are some students who are in single co-ed school. They will always have things like relationship problems, and maybe like they care a lot about their personal image, and 爱美, want to look good, that kind of stuff. So I think we'll have different considerations. But you all have to take note. For parents with daughters, right? If you want to send your daughters to um single sex school, you have to I would say you have to constantly check in with your daughter how they feel in school. I hear of cases whereby some girls they will get ostracized. I hear of cases whereby some girls basically they can get cyberbullied. There will be a lot of cliques and stuff like that. So they need to learn how to handle this as well. Yeah. But of course, not everybody can handle all these situations well. So which is why I mentioned parents do check in with your daughters if they are facing issues in school. If let's say they
Yeah,
were to go into single sex girls school.
yeah. I agree. But parents, no matter which kind of school your child go, you really must continue to check in. I will share that really the academics, right? Yes, it matters. I know parents, I know you are concerned, but really the secondary school changes are great and deep and fast. They are fast and deep and really great. Okay, so I liken like when the children are in primary school, we are like the sun. We are always there shining brightly at them. But when they go to the secondary school, right, we become the moon. We are still there, always there. But in the day, the moon isn't very obvious. You have to be present. And one thing I learned in when my kids are in secondary school, right, is really must be 100% present. When they're in primary school, right, I can tell them, you wait, you wait. I need to do my things. They can wait for you. But in secondary school, there's no such thing as you wait. All right. The moment's gone is gone. I feel that's actually more important. So when they go to the secondary school, parents, it's really that, okay, and how you transit into that parenting style. Okay. All right. Shall we go into how we can help the school, the children here for the Blue3 Academy?
Over here, we we have our regular classes, and over here our regular classes we have our in-house curriculum. In general, our curriculum over here is created in such a way that it can even take over the school notes, it can even take over the school textbook. Yeah. So at the site, our teachers are also very committed. We always offer free consultations, after lesson reviews, and stuff like that, because we are very committed to help your child tide through the Set 1 transition. Yeah. For science, right, our lessons, we focus a lot on the 3E approach that Blue3 is very proud of. We always want the student to explore and then learn how to explain, and then afterwards they can extend it on their own. For science, hands-on experiment is really one of the way that we try to advocate to learn. We believe that learning through hands-on is the easiest way for them to learn the concept and also remember things. Yeah. So we pride ourselves, maybe every topic we will always have like 2 hands-on experiment for them to actually work something out, to not just always do questions. At least they have some things they can look forward to as well.
Yeah, for the math side, okay, we definitely committed, right? Notes, summaries, you have easy questions, intermediate questions, advanced questions. We have created things almost I would say equivalent to like an assessment book, right? Where they really it's like a compilation of like school questions, exam questions, where the kids really see, hey, oh, I know how to do this, but maybe when I go up to the intermediate level, I can't do it. Okay, and after I conquer the intermediate level, there's still an advanced level, right? So we give consultations, okay, on the side where we feel like the kids need it, okay, and then we also and I'll say that a lot of the kids who come a bit earlier, right, you will see that their results are relatively stable, okay, quite sustained throughout the entire sec 1, sec 2, and then sometimes there is a drop, right, from sec 3, but usually we see them bounce back. But a lot of times when we see parents might send their child in by the end of sec 1, right? End of sec 1, that's when your end of year is over already, right? Or the start of sec 2, or halfway through sec 2 when you are already failing your first WA or second WA, and then trying to get to a decent result for the end of year. So we recognize that there is a lot of at this juncture, right? There's a lot of fear. Okay, there's a lot of like, actually, I just want to let my child try first, right? But trust us that we really have a program that is really, really, really here to help your child learn. Okay, there is not a lot of like extra programs here, extra programs that, okay, that is only if you really feel like your child need. It's one program. Okay, the one program will make sure that your child survives, okay, and hopefully thrives in your school as well, lah. Okay, yeah. So some of you all also asked, can Blue3 teach IP curriculum? Can you share your thoughts on how Blue3 supports students from IP? Okay, so maybe from my side, I can share first. So at this current juncture, the IP classes that we have at Blue3 is still quite limited because one issue of course is manpower, right? The other issue is also demand. So every year we do have IP classes. So for myself, currently I have a Sec 3 IP and a Sec 2 IP. Okay, next year's IP will be run by one of my teacher who is also from IP herself. She was from NJC. Right. So, for parents who are looking for IP tuition or centers, okay, when I ask you, is there a particular center that you can think of that is for IP? The answer is no, because IP curriculum is so different, it's so unique, right? RI has RI, Hwa Chong is Hwa Chong, NJ is NJ, and VS is VS. So it's very hard for us to find one particular center that teaches one particular kind of students. So what we do here is, of course, we will first gather all of their scheme of work. Okay, for reference, scheme of work basically means the order in which they will teach the topics. Okay, and then we will try to find the best average, okay, of the entire class, okay, and create a specific scheme of work just for that class. So our IP classes run a bit differently from our G3 classes. G3 classes are all fixed for scheme of work. But for my own IP classes, the scheme of work is always changing. Okay, let's say the students say, hey, actually, I'm learning this in school. Then sometimes we will change the scheme of work to fit them. And of course, the way that we teach the IP students are a bit different from the G3 students. Okay, it's a bit more of like making them think, okay, not giving them the formula, but making them derive the formula, making them think of, why does this formula work? And how should I use this formula? How should I find a way to internalize and memorize this formula? Whereas for the G3 students, it's not like that, right? For the G3 students, it's a bit more direct. It's like information feeding, okay, practice and get it. Right. And I think I also wanted to share something about the G3 schools. I think a lot of parents always have this mindset, oh, the more I practice, the better I will end up being, right? Okay. But I think that's not true, okay, because if you play sports, okay, the more you practice something that is wrong, right, over the next 2 to 3 years, okay, you will always have the bad habit. And can you eventually get out of the bad habit? Okay, the answer is yes, but with a lot of effort. So it's really, about getting the correct things, the correct understanding, okay, which is where we come in. Okay, we build their understanding, we build the foundations. Okay, we don't just teach them, oh, just drill and drill and drill. I think that's something that maybe is a very big misconception at the secondary school level. Yeah. When is the kickstart date for G3 Sec 1 Math? Oh, okay. You've just missed it. This is the last week of the kickstart for Sec 1 Math, as in like the head start for Sec 1, or I assume it's like P6 to Sec 1, right? Yeah, I think I'm answering one of the questions. Yeah, you just missed it. Actually, this is the last week. You can still come for a trial if you want. But next week onwards, we are officially starting our G3 Sec 1 for the year of 2026. So for our calendar, we start in December. So next week will be the first official week. So if you do join us, then you will not miss anything lah. But if let's say you do join us in January, then maybe one topic might have already been covered. Yeah. So of course, if you are interested, you can definitely let us know, right? We can share our number with you, and then you can just text us at there lah. Yep. Yeah. So
For
the number is given by Teacher Joe already.
for science, right? The for science IP is a little bit more tricky because we seen for different IP schools, the topic is really very unique to each school. Like for example, SCGS IP has their own sets of scheme of work. Then TJC has their own set, RI has their own set, and NYGH also has their own set. So it's very, very hard to put all different IP students together. So usually on Blue3 side, what we will do is we will collate, oh, maybe we have like 3 demands from NYGH. Then that's where we will look to open a class just purely for all these students.
There's another question about CCA. So different schools have also different CCAs demand. Some schools need 2 CCAs, like one club, one like sports, for example. Okay, so that one may be a concern for you. So you may want to check that one out. For IP schools, right? Really parents in general, I will tell you that they are quite similar. They are really very, very similar in terms of their demands, work demand, and the schedule. All right. Yeah. I would say then the factors will be the, like for example, Hwa Chong is very SAP school Chinese culture, right? Then RI is more Western influence, huh? Yeah, like SJI. So maybe you have to, and then there's also religion. Like SJI, religion will play a role. All right. Yeah. So it depends on your family. All right, values and all that. Okay. Okay. Any other questions? Funny, I realized that nobody asked us about MGS and RGS and Nanyang girls. We have a lot of parents with boys today. Yeah. So maybe. Okay, one of the things that I checked, right, was that year, was there more boys or girls born? Year
Usually,
of
most of the
snake.
MGS girls already have like affiliation, so they know they're gonna get into MGS. Yeah,
Or maybe, yeah. So
maybe.
maybe parents, yeah, maybe that would be yeah, but today a lot of boys question. Then no one asked about Cat High also. Okay. All
There's
right.
one parent who asked about Cat High cutoff point. Will it go up? I think you can
Stable,
you can
quite stable.
I think you yeah, it has been quite stable for a while. But let's say if you really want to compare, you try to compare relative to other schools, right? Most of the schools cutoff point dropped by one. So maybe it may also drop by one. It's possible.
I don't think so. This year of snake, no, don't have. Dragon last year was very competitive. Yeah, I think this year will be quite
Mm.
stable, quite the same. Yeah. Are our lessons all G3 only? There's a question.
Yeah, okay, so our lessons are based on G3 based, right? But we do have quite a number of G2 students who are with us. Okay, and of course, the first question that I will always ask the parent is this, or at least all my team will ask that. What is the intention of joining the G3 lesson, right? Because at the end of the day, we want to sell you something that is going to benefit you, right? So if the intention here is to really push a child to go up to G3, then definitely we are all for it. Because like I myself, this last year alone, I had two G2 students in my class, one from ACS Barker, one from I think I can't remember is I think Clementi Town or something. Yeah, both of them went up to G3 after the second WA because one of them was scoring like 80 plus, one of them was scoring like 75. Okay, yeah, so we do encourage students who want to promote to G2, okay, sorry, to G3 to join us. Okay, but also there are also students who tell us, oh, actually, I just want to stay in G2 and do well. And I think that is quite important as well. And we also do encourage that. Okay, but it's really to understand what is the intention of you joining the G3 lesson. Okay, so long as your attitude is right, so long as you're willing to learn, okay, I think the G3 class definitely will be helpful. Okay, and for those of you who are going to G2 and want to promote to G3, you must also remember this. The longer you wait to promote to G3, the more content you will miss. Okay, because G2 and G3 at the lower sec, there are differences. For example, I don't learn half of this topic, or I don't learn this topic. And when you go up to Sec 3, you're expected to know because now you're in G3 stream, right? So being in a G3 class when you're G2 actually does give you that very big advantage. When you eventually cross to G3, you know, okay, even though I didn't learn this in school, but because I learned it with like Blue3, right? Actually, I'm quite confident that I will do well. Yeah, so that is my answer to that G3 question, right? Does it make sense for an IP student to join a G3 class? Actually, we do have students who are IP and join us. Okay, for example, those students who want to go to RVHS, River Valley High School. This is one school that we know that they can join either IP school or they can join either a G3 class because their syllabus is very close to G3 stream actually. Yeah, there are some weaker IP students who choose to join G3 class because they need a bit more time to get used to the content, a bit more time to practice and drill. Okay, there are certain students who are in G3 level but also join my IP class. For example, I have this student, he's been getting full marks for every exam. Okay, I told the mom, I think just let him come to my IP class. I think he will be a bit more stimulated. Yeah, so it is okay, but of course, all of this coming to each other's class will be at the discretion of the HODs and also our discussions with yourselves, lah. Okay.
To teacher Nicholas' point, so I also have a student who is in IP, but he doesn't want to join IP class. He wants to be in the G3 class. So I asked him why. He says he feels very comfortable in G3 class. And he feels that um he wants to he quote him he want to be a big fish in a small pond. Okay, but I know it's a very superficial reason, but at the same time, he feels very comfortable because he knows that any extra help that he needs, right? Our teachers here are able to provide the additional help that he needs. So coming for regular G3 classes is just like a it's just like a regular um it's like a regular class that keeps his engine going to ensure that he's being consistent with his work. Okay, there's one question regarding Outram, Compassville, North Vista, and Sengkang Secondary School for a student in G2. These schools are all neighborhood schools, but I heard good things about them. Just to take note, just if let's say the student is in G2, you have to it really depends on whether the student wants to promote to G3 or the students is just want to comfortably stay in G2. Yeah, because if let's say you just want to stay in G2, then your mentality will be very different. If let's say you are G2 students who want to promote to G3, then your mentality will be totally different also because you have to be a bit more hardworking. Yeah. But from my understanding, those schools, the students are not not the most hardworking. So it might really take some effort for your child if let's say they are looking at promoting from G2 to G3.
Okay, some questions about IP. Okay, I think there's a lot of IP students here next year. My son might want to join science and math for IP classes. HCI IP, is that likely to be available? Yes. So for math side, there is a class. So there's one class catered. The class will be at Coronation Plaza, which is right beside Hwa Chong. It will be a Thursday class. So I think if you are interested, you can definitely text into the admin line, right? They will be very willing to share with you what is the slot. Yeah. Like I said, the IP slots are very limited. Okay, because we don't really have that much number of IP students yet. But let's say if there is a very very high demand, then maybe we considering opening more than one class lah. Yeah. So for math side, definitely there will be a class catered just for IP for Hwa Chong. Yeah. And then
Mm.
there is another person that said, my kid did a head start, will probably go for IP. Does he continue sign up with the same teacher? Okay, so maybe you can let me know in the chat which school is he going to, and then I can let you know whether it will be the same teacher or a different teacher. Yeah, because I'm not very particularly sure which which head start class you went for. Yeah, NYGH IP, yes, also possible.
GHIP for NYGH students who are taking science, right? They can actually join our G3 class. It's actually largely similar. I said, right? Over here our manpower is quite limited, so we really only can open IP and IB classes by school based on demand. So do let our admins know of your interest so that we can collate all this demand, then so that we can serve. Okay, we can serve the demand.
For VJCIP, VJCIP, are you looking at the science classes or the math classes? Okay, so generally for IP parents, okay, just to let you all know first, okay, because we did receive some feedback about when our admins texted the parents and then they were asking them, oh, which school are you from? And then some of the parents got a bit agitated because they were like, is it only good school then you accept? Yeah, so it's not, okay, we are asking about the school because we want to make sure that if you come in, oh, you're from VJ, you are from St. Nick's, da, 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 we can actually support. We don't want to lie to you guys and say, oh yeah, can support. Then actually end up we are giving you something that is subpar. Yeah. So
Right.
when we ask you for your school, it's really not to say, oh, we are very elitist. Okay, we have schools ranging from the lower end schools to the higher end schools. We accept all kinds of students so long as they want to learn. Yeah. So for VJCIP, I'll need to check. Depends on the scheme of work. So I think it will be good if you can indicate your interest for VJC. Okay. But definitely for the first few, or at least for the first term. Yeah, the first term definitely can join because the first term topics are generally all about the same. Is the same sequence for math lah. Hi, for which subjects? Sorry, which Ad- Adele Cole? Yeah. What is the context for the which subjects? Is it like letting them know which school are you from? All schools. Yeah, for IP especially. For G3, not really. For the trial, for the trial, hi, for which?
Right.
We have math.
Okay.
Sorry. I think.
Math and science, both.
Yeah, we have math and science. How about this year cohort performance based on Blue 3 students compared to the Dragon year? The Dragon year just passed, so I think you're talking about the primary school results, right? Not the secondary school results. Yeah, this one I need to maybe check back with Teacher Joe. But last year we were quite aware that there were a lot of AL1s to AL3s. Yeah, the percentage was high because I think they were sharing significant stats about how many students in Blue. I can't remember the actual number itself. Yeah, but for secondary school side, Dragon year was not last year. I think you're referring to the primary school year, if I'm not wrong. Yeah.
Based on what I know, of my own P6 students that I teach for Head Start, I would say it's a bit lower than the percentage is a bit lower than last year. Based on so far, I've been teaching P6 Head Start, Set 1 Head Start, sorry, to P6 students. I have around a total of 21, 21 to 25 P6 students. I would say AL1 very little. Sorry, AL1 very little compared to last year, correct. Yeah. AL1 very little compared to last year.
Okay, sorry, this person asked twice. Think we see if we can address Outram, Compassville, North Vista, Sengkang Secondary School for a G2 kid. Yeah, I don't stay near there. I don't have a lot of students from there. I stay at the west side. So, Teacher Ming, might you know, do you know anything about Outram, Compassville, North Vista, Sengkang Secondary
Yeah.
School?
Just now I addressed that question already.
Oh,
So
address already. Okay, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So maybe just to do a quick repeat, the students in the G2 stream for these neighborhood schools, they are not as hardworking as I thought they are. So if you are comfortable, if you are aiming to stay at G2, I would say that's a comfortable place to be with, to be. If let's say you are looking at promoting to G3, maybe I wouldn't recommend that. Yeah, because the culture is a bit too, I would say it's a bit too relaxed.
Okay, so just a summary for the IP parents. Okay, definitely do drop us a text. Okay, we will be very upfront and honest with you. If we can support your schools, we definitely will offer you a trial. If you're unable to support your school, then we will not tell you, and we won't waste your time lah, basically. Yeah, but again for term one, majority of the schools will be running about the same content. So yeah, term one usually is not the issue. The issue comes after the first term. Which schools would you recommend for G2 to move up to G3? Hmm. I don't have a very good answer for you because I think then that will be painting a very biased picture. Yeah. But if you are really asking like the easiest to go up from G2 to G3, then you might want to explore those schools who are at the lower end of the whole schools. Okay, but again, that runs the risk that if you go to a school that is already not so good in rep, right, or like in like results, and you cannot move up to G3, then it might be an even worse issue to face.
So I think right, we should also, if let's say you know that you want your child to go from G2 to G3, right? So the school environment is very important. Okay. The truth is the class right will be a mix of G3 students, G2 students, and G1 students. Yeah. So it also got to do with the school reputation. Because like for example, if let's say today I want to put it out here, Xingming, let's compare Xingming compared to maybe I don't know, maybe Kuchuan, right? Xingming and Kuchuan. Um, in general, a lot of people know that Xingming in general will be more studious. So if let's say the environment is more studious, it's actually easier for the student to go from G2 to G3. I'm just giving an example. Yeah, so you need to consider the school environment. So personally for me, if let's say if I'm choosing G2, I may choose a school that has a better reputation.
Can I switch from G2 to G3? Yes. At specific time frames, uh, three times, or rather three choices, three chances that you can go from G2 to G3. But also subjected to teachers' recommendations. Yeah.
All right. So regarding this, right, I have a student who during WA3, surprisingly, he got 80% for science. So he wanted to promote from G2 to G3, but his promotion got rejected because his teacher didn't recommend. But after the parent appealed to the teacher, then afterwards he got promoted to G3. So basically, any decision to promote or even demote really depends on the teacher as well. Yeah. On their basically their subject teacher.
What is the assessment based on for teachers' recommendations? I think it's generally attitude in class because I mean if you are someone that's very disruptive and you don't bother listening in class or doing homework, of course the teacher won't have a good view of you lah. Yeah, so I think basically attitude. I think most of the time we are really looking for attitude and knowing that the kid, despite not doing well, but will continue to push on. Yeah, because I think it's quite important for the kids to have that hunger, right, to want to do well. Okay, if it's really just, oh, I'm just doing it because I'm forced to, then that might not be the best outlook for the child lah. So even if they can do well in Sec 2, maybe once they hit Sec 3, everything goes down from here. Then maybe the teacher feels that, oh, I think it's better if you just stay in G2 and deal with a much more manageable workload than you going to G3. Neighborhood schools, what is the norm mix? Answering Fiona, this parent called Fiona Tay, do you mean like the percentage of number of G2, G3, and G1 students? Based on what we know is roughly each school is about five G3 classes, five G3 classes worth of students. So that's usually about 200-ish. G2 is maybe about two to three classes, depending on how big the school is. Then G1 is usually about one class of students, one or two, depending on which school you are getting. Yeah, so I would say G3 will take up about 50% or close to 55% of the cohort. What are the routes to go from G3 to IP in Sec 3? Uh, Okay, usually will be entrance exams. For example, ACSI has an entrance exam. So this year I have two kids who have been scoring 90 plus and above. They took the exam, they got in. So now they are in ACSIP for next year. Yeah, but they're still staying in my mainstream classes. If not, is uh, yeah, if not, I don't really hear of very specific, oh, I transfer over to another school just because I want to get into IP. I think usually very difficult. Yeah, usually is you're already in the school in Sec 2 and then you did well. For SCGS, same thing. You need to be, I think, the top few in your class and then a very good average of scores in order for you to enter from G3 to IP schools. Yes. Okay. Okay, I think we will just be here for a couple more minutes. Okay, we will try to not answer any more school-specific questions. I think it's very, I would say, it's very subjective, right? We don't really want to impose our views on you. Of course, we know about the schools, but sometimes maybe just different schools, different students have like different experiences of their own schools, lah. Okay, so if you have any more questions related to like IP, IB, okay, or how our centers are, okay, or what do we offer, okay, feel free to drop your questions to us, okay, yeah, and then there's also the number, right? Uh, yeah, our number is there, okay. Let me just retype it, okay, in case you missed it, okay. No worries, no worries. Thank you so much for attending. Okay, yeah, okay. Thank you so much. Can we transfer from G3 to IP to different schools? Very rarely happens. Yeah, very rarely happens. Yeah, maybe if there's some sort of connection, maybe. But I haven't heard of anyone that just G3 suddenly went to another school to IP. Very, very difficult. Yeah, or almost unheard of lah. Yeah.
I think also I don't want I don't want parents to think that IP is better than G3. That's not true. It's really just based on what you want for your kid. G3 is more structured. Okay. They have O-level major exam to prepare them for the exam stamina and exam stress. Then afterwards they have A levels, right? But for IP students, they don't need to take O level. They straight away take A level. So they already miss out on that kind of experience, the kind of major exam experience. So it's good and bad. Then of course IP, you can expect the students to really be challenged academically. Okay. For O level, it will be more structured, more comfortable. Yeah. So if let's say you really truly believe that your kid is of a higher ability, and wish to challenge themselves, then yes, go for IP. Because I have seen students who went IP and then they really struggle and struggle, and once they struggle, right, that it will snowball. Then they find it really very hard to catch up afterwards.
Sorry, SJCIP. SJC, sorry, which school is SJC? Someone asked how to get the IEB. How to you need to enter specific schools. Unless you're talking about getting to IB at secondary school, uh then it depends on the school. Like let's say MGS offers IP, then you convert into a IB after year 5, year 6. ACSI does the same thing. Yeah. Saint Joseph's. Oh, SJI. I see. Yes, they have IB, 6-year program IB, in year 5, year 6. Whether or not there is SGI JC, that I'm not very particularly sure. But yes, they do have a IB year 5, year 6 program. Yeah. Okay.
For SJI, right, there is a IP program. There's 4 years. Afterwards, they will still transit to IB.
Yeah, should be the same then. Okay, I think there are no more questions. Okay, so okay, once again, just to wrap up. Okay, thank you for staying with us. Okay, it's been a very fruitful almost 2 hours. Okay, yeah. Okay, thank you for spending the night with us. Okay, we hope this sharing has been helpful. Okay, we know that a lot of you are really going through a lot. Okay, in the next the last 2 and also the next 4 days. Okay, make the decision. Okay, we hope you make a good decision. And then definitely, if you need help, okay, just remember that Blue3 Academy and Blue3 Education will always be here if you guys need us. Lah. Okay? There's no worries. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.